want to write something meaningful. When my pen touches paper or my fingers tap a keyboard, I want something beautiful to be my reward. I want to get lost in the richness of rhymes and the softness of lines and the tone and the meter and the rhythm. Oh, the rhythm that jumps from every syllable like the pulse in my veins. But I don't want to get sidetracked, stuck in a conversation about the finer points of a beautiful poem. No. I want to say something, discuss the nature that is hypocritical of anything remotely political and how that problem is neither remote nor isolated. And I mean, I could just talk around it and not mention any names, but you see, my need to eradicate ignorance trumps political correctness. So here it is. Donald J. Trump. Like a spoiled child who cried just enough, he got exactly what he wanted, the White House. So we have an orange man in the White House who's turned the United States of America into white versus black. No, wait, scratch that. He turned it into white versus any minority, pushing the agenda no longer hidden of white supremacy. He's turned the White House into an open house, a club, replacing an administration with comedians. And I mean, that kind of funny, because ignorance should be the enemy. But that's his greatest ally, his biggest weapon. And I sat and watched people weep on international TV. And then all of a sudden, the statements I hear are, he's not my president. I didn't vote for him. And more people who did vote for him are now silent, asphyxiated by their own regrets. Sound familiar? Well, let's reset. See, America's recent political upset has overshadowed our own woes. Or have you already forgotten campaign promises to deliver in 100 days? Because, I mean, I'm waiting and I can count 100 ways I've been disappointed. Let's talk about, I don't know, Imani. Utah's trainees granted the opportunity to work. All well and good, but you see, life is a cycle. And at the end of this cycle, they are just shuffled back into the deck to be placed into the box of unemployment. And somehow we expect to have economic development and we had to fight to get a 3% increment. And I mean, who needs job security? Teachers turning in optimal performance and still can't get permanence. But here what? We have to just sit down and deal with the ministry's gross incompetence. And what about nurses working tirelessly and getting paid in curses? The Hippocratic oaths have their tongues tied while the minister goes and lies. Oh, sorry. He went and he informed the nation, spreading hearsay on every news station. But you see, that's enough of that, because my little 5 minutes not enough to handle all them alternative facts. Besides, that's another poem for another day, because those cries have been made before, but it seems like the only time somebody willing to listen is like just around election, but that could be my observation. So let me switch gears. Is it me? Or have the investors disappeared? Oh. See, Grenadians forget their problems every February. But tell me, since when have we become a people with long arms and almost no memory? All right, you know what? Let's talk about education and why it is my students can't learn more about the Grenadian Revolution. You see, I'm angry. The students never receive their technology unless the tablets they referred to were actually medicinal. See, we content to be yanked about by ball and chain at the mercy of a government whose representatives ain't fit to represent shit unless they could somehow benefit. But I laugh because I remember saying that a couple years ago. No, I lied. That was a couple months ago. Yeah. It was a couple weeks ago. No, wait, actually, it was a couple days ago. And I'm not talking about in practice. You see, the fact is, we've been getting shortchanged by a government who promotes change but has never changed the way they approach a problem. And I mean, I can't even say it's a good effort because there's absolutely nothing to show for it. Nothing more than a few unfinished projects that reflect our abject disappointment. And that's a hard pill to swallow. Oh, my bad. A hard tablet. See, I wanted to write something beautiful, but I could sense you have people in here who are uncomfortable, unable to appreciate my poem's aesthetics just because the content deals with politics. But here we are. Now is not the time for feel-good poetry. Now it's time for poems of revolutionary beauty.